natin ang open forum at kung may mga katanungan ay unang pakilala niyo ang sarili niyo at ilahad ang tanong at kanino niyo kanino niyo binabato yung tanong sa apat natin ng mga tagapagsalita. Meron po ba ibig magtanong, magkomentaryo, magbigay ng opinion, puro-puro? Ayun. Pakigamit lang po yung mikropono sa gitna.
Good afternoon po sa lahat. Ako po si Nat Candelaria. And then, i-address ko po sana yung question ko kay Dr. Mendoza. If the Marcoses were not rehabilitated as you claimed earlier, then what would be the dominant idea with regards to the Marcoses in the first place? Do you think that the events after EDSA 1 affect the thinking of the people with regards to their family? Thank you.
Kailangan ko baguhin yung premise na tanong ko. Kasi sinabi ko, hindi na nila kailangan ng rehabilitasyon. Kasi sa kwan, kung kailangan man nila at wala namang pag-asa, sira lang ang imahe nila sa mga katulad ko na dumaan sa martial law, lumaban sa kanila. Pero sa mga karamihan ng mamamayan, hindi kailangan i-rehabilitate ang kanilang imahe, lalong-lalo na, tulad ng nabanggit ni kasamang Eusebio, wala namang halos pinagbago yung mga post-Marcos na mga kalakaran. Hindi sa ordinaryong tao, hindi masyadong malaki ang pinagbago ng kanilang kalagayan. Kaya hindi nila titignan yung kalakaran Marcos na kasing sama. Sa mga nagbibigay ng kahalagahan sa demokratikong proseso, sa mga laban sa authoritarianismo, masama ang tingin sa Rehimeng Marcos. Ang komplikasyon kay Marcos, kalahating elected siya na mula 1965 hanggang 1972, nakaupo siya bilang elected na presidente. In fact, siya ang kauna-unahang re-elected president ng ating bansa. Tapos mula 72 hanggang 86, dun siya umupo bilang authoritarian leader. So yung assessment ko kay Marcos, mahirap na pagsamahin mo yung dalawang period na yon. O kung gagawin mo man yun, kailangan bigyan mo ng distinction yung dalawang period na yun. Of course, yung mga defenders naman niya, hindi nila gagawa ng distinction yun. Isasama lahat nila yun. Tapos sasabihin nila, siya ang pinakamaraming ginawang mga daan. Ang haba kasi ng kanyang pamamahala. Of course, sasagot ko naman doon. Natural, ikaw yung nakaupong matagal eh. Siyempre, ikaw yung pinakamaraming mo gagawa. Salamat.
Meron pang ibang katanungan?
I'd like to give my remarks. So first I'll introduce myself. My name is Cholo Olaguer. I'm a BA Anthropology major. And my grandfather on my dad's side is Eduardo Olaguer. He was a proponent of the Light the Fire movement back during the Marcos years, and where they planned and burned down the Commonwealth building during their time. So I'd like to add a few points to create a fuller picture of the context back in the Marcos years based on, aside from what is conventionally taught about martial law, I also learned from what my lolas wrote and what my family members have told me about business and the climate during martial law. So you have to acknowledge na hindi lang si Marcos yung isang nagpapatakbo ng martial law regime. Kasi bukod doon, meron siyang grupo ng mga cronies na nakapalibot sa kanya. They seize control of companies in vital industries. And Marcos supposedly gave tax breaks to Dushatan, for example, sa tobacco industry. Tapos, yung ibang kontrata na sinagawa sa ilalim ng Marcos administration, kagaya ng sa Bataan Nuclear Power Plant, I forgot his name, pero they say that doon talaga nagkaroon ng malalaking kickbacks. Basically, we loaned a lot of money during the martial law period, at yun ang binabayaran natin ngayon. And from that money that we borrowed during the martial law years, yung country natin basically, a lot of that money went to Marcos, the group of Marcos and his cronies. They seized control of vital industries. I think kasama doon ng ibang companies ni Lopez. And parang when martial law is discussed, to me, ang narrow ng binibigay ng konteksto eh. It usually relates to the activism during the time of Marcos. It doesn't really talk about yung money na nakapalibot, kung sino yung nagbibigay ng pondo, kung sino yung sumusuporta kay Marcos. It's purong Marcos, Marcos, Marcos. And you have to acknowledge the fact that you have a static image that you give us, yung mga activists na nagsasalita tungkol sa martial law. You give us a static image of Marcos, 40, 30 years ago. And you also have to acknowledge the fact na sina Bongbong Marcos, pwede sila magbago. Kung ano yung imahe nila noon, they can change. Parang kung nang-rape ka ng tao 40 years ago, ano naman ang magiging weight nun sa'yo if you've changed 40 years since then? Parang hindi naman, I doubt that yung kasalanan ng family member mo, yung madadala mo yung gravity niya throughout your lifetime. If the activists here would want to retain their perception of martial law in social memory as they saw it, they would have to provide us with the fuller context. As in, sino yung mga players ng martial law? Hindi lang pwede sino Marcos lang. Kailangan ninyo ipaliwanag na may mga kasamang negosyante na nakapalibot kay Marcos. Tapos sa side din ni Ninoy, parang sino-sino sila. And what have they done in our government, for example, especially with Noynoy Aquino currently in our administration. But I'll save my criticism of Noynoy Aquino because I believe that he doesn't know better. He doesn't know how to lead. Parang pinasok niyo si Cory and all these succeeding presidents, but the thing is, our educational system is lackluster. You have people who, as our previous speaker has mentioned, don't know how to think critically in general. Tapos ang sinasabi nga ng dating NEDA secretary ni Marcos, si Gerardo Sicat, he was my professor in Econ 11. He was telling us that the current system of laws and in the Constitution, there are provisions which block foreign direct investments or the opportunities for FDIs from coming into our country because we pretty much in the Constitution which Cory and company wrote, it pretty much insulated us from foreign capital, which has its pros and cons. But for us, its pros. Ang masasabi ko dyan, yung Constitution natin, it protects us from the influence of foreign capital. Yung hindi tayo nakokontrol masyado ng mga foreign interests or foreign companies dahil yung capital nila wala masyado dito, nasa ibang bansa sa ASEAN region. So that's what I'm saying. If you want us to learn more about the context of martial law, and if you want to retain it in social memory, you have to do a better job in providing us with the context. You can't just limit yourself to your own perspective. You have to include the perspectives of those people who were working during martial law, the perspectives of the oppositionists, etc. That's all.
Thank you. Kaya Butch Hernandez would like to
Hi, you're the grandson of Ed talaga? I see. I worked with him at that time. And Otto Jimenez. But you met them. Okay, you said put it in clearer context, add more perspective. I don't know how clear we can be at that time. Before you continue,
Yes.
Sir, I think you have a point. Well, basically, I'm talking from the perspective of my generation because
Yes.
what you're taught
And
is basically
I'd like to-
yung condensed version na
Right.
Ito ang nangyari, yung mga emphasized events are the EDSA Revolution 1986. Yung mga events during martial law, yung martial law years, hindi siya, it's not really clear eh.
Correct.
Yung
there is no
etc.
disagreement there, Mr. Balaguer. My point is that all the information that you want is actually there, waiting for you to process. Na? This is the University of the Philippines. Hindi uso spoon feeding dito. Di ba? Lahat na kailangan yung malaman tungkol sa martial law, nandyan na. Andyan ang mga profesor na dumaan sa panahon na yon at maliwanag pa ang kanilang alaala tungkol doon. My own classmate was sitting there sa harap ng just steps nagkaroon ng Diliman commune. Nandun siya nung binaril ni Campos yung isang bata doon. Ganun kaliwanag yung panahon na yun sa amin at hindi pa martial law yun. Noong panahon ng martial law, naghihirap kami lahat. Pero hindi namin kayo sinisisi. Okay, ganun. My point is, all the information that you need is really there, lalo na ngayon. Social media is there. All the libraries are accessible to you internationally and locally at the click of a button. All you need to do is read. And yet, you listen to drivel like what the videos that Dr. Llanes was showing. Ang daming likes noon sa Facebook. Bakit mas konti yung mga nagsasabi na hindi ganyan yun? Bakit? Kulang daw sa impormasyon. Read. Research. Everything you need is right here, right now, in this new world of technology-driven media.
I think I recognize Professor Llanes first and then Professor Mendoza.
Yeah, yung point ni Mr. Olaguer, okay naman yun. From my end, and I think even other professors, I teach history, Bong teaches political science. Yung understanding naman namin ng martial law is not focused on Marcos alone. Kasi when you have to understand martial law, you have to understand the nature of fascism. And fascism is monopoly control of everything. The economy, the state, the social life, culture, the arts, no? Lahat yan. And totoo naman yung sabi mo na a martial law or a fascist state became possible during the time because na-achieve ni Marcos and his mga kasama niya yung total control of everything. If you study yung mga history ng fascism around the world, that is the very nature of a fascist state. When you have to develop a cadre or a cadre of people who would put up yung fascist rule. Halimbawa, si Hitler, he co-opted intellectuals to do the project that he wanted to accomplish. Marcos was also like that. Yung mga intellectuals, he co-opted them. Like history, many our department were co-opted. our own department. They wrote yung, I have the book, no, yung tadhana. Kaya nga yung point ng rehabilitation or revising history, mukhang hindi naman talaga ngayon yan. And Marcos was really good at it, no? Because as early as his rule, tiniyak na niya na the narrative that would be provided to the next generation would be his narrative, or the narrative of his regime, at the tadhana. And the title is, you know, eerie, diba? Tadhana. And mukhang yung tadhana, tumutuloy talaga kay Bongbong. I mean, I'm not pro-Marcos, no? Pero by the looks of it, they have it well crafted, no? The way Marcos did before. And you cannot do it alone. You cannot be Marcos alone. You have to have propaganda people. People who would design these videos that act subliminally. So you need good media people there. You need economists who would make possible the control of the economy. You mentioned the person who's the non-nuclear plant. That's Herminio Decini. That's Herminio Decini. So people like this. And so the particularity of fascism here was the phenomenon of cronyism. So what I'm trying to say is, hindi naman nakafocus lang tayo sa isang tao. And even the way I present this, in the limited time and space dun sa classroom, is not probably what you're thinking. It's not what exactly you're thinking na nakafocus lang. We have to, yun nga ang problem. Bakit yung mga textbooks ganyan? I'll read to you one. This is 1989 published. This is a textbook in Kasaysayan at Pamahalang Pilipino. 1989 to publish. One of the authors, patay niya siya, Brother Andrew Gonzalez. 3 years after EDSA. Sabi niya, EDSA, mga nais sa katuparan, sa pagwawakas ng batas militar pagkalipas ng 9 na taon, maraming mabubuting pagbabago.